Welcome to the Handcrafted Podcast, the business of making things. I'm Paul, founder of Philadelphia Table Company and the Handcrafted Network, and I believe great craftsmanship deserves great business strategy. This podcast is for makers who want to build not just great products, but a thriving business. Each episode will dive into the mindset, systems, and skills that turn craft into success. All right, guys, welcome back to the Handcrafted Podcast. It's Christmas week. Well, not as I'm recording this, but as you're listening to this, it will be Christmas week. Hope everyone has had an amazing year so far. I hope you guys are getting to take some time off for Christmas. And yeah, I know I'm going to be taking some time. Like I said in the previous podcast, I'm expecting a child in the next few days here, so I should be with a newborn baby through Christmas, which is kind of exciting. I'm actually excited about the idea of it, like kind of slowing me down a little bit, taking some focus off of sort of only the business, which is kind of a good thing. But yeah, it's a new adventure that I'm excited for. Anyways, Handcrafted Podcast is brought to you by the Handcrafted Network, an online community of makers and artisans where you can connect with people from across the country, as well as connect with myself, as well as learn some things through online classroom, as well as participate live on group calls. We do group calls twice a month. They've been really awesome. It's so great getting to connect with people. And then we also have another group called Handcrafted Scaling, where those are people who have at least one employee or so, and we do mastermind style there. That's limited to only 20 people. So if you are interested in that, definitely send me an email. That's also via application only. So send me an email, paul@thehandcraftednetwork.com. But the other group is welcome to anybody and everybody, including members of the scaling group are also part of that group as well. I've been doing a bunch of classroom stuff on goal setting, and I have a whole section on there called Year of Growth that a bunch of people have worked through, which has kind of helped grow people's businesses. And I'd love to see you in the group. I appreciate all of you guys that I've been talking to. This podcast is really starting to do well, which is amazing, something that I never really planned on happening. And it's just been awesome. I'm super appreciative to all the listeners. I'm super appreciative to the people who jump over to join the group. I'm super appreciative of the people who have reached out and scheduled a phone call with me and chatted with me or met me. It's been just really awesome. And with that said, I also will ask you to subscribe or like or whatever it is that you do with your particular podcast app or YouTube channel. This way you get live updates. I'm here doing this stuff, and I want to provide the best material for you, as well as sort of the best resources and the most help I can give. So the only thing I'm asking of you guys is just to subscribe, like, comment, all of those sorts of things. And it's been awesome. It's been great. I think I've been doing this for probably about 3 or 4 months now, and the growth has been absolutely incredible. So thank you. If you have any questions you would like for me to answer, or an episode you would like for me to chat about, you can send me an email, paul@thehandcraftednetwork.com. Again, that's paul@thehandcraftednetwork.com. All right, so today's episode going to be maybe a little bit shorter. We'll see. I wanted to talk about, as we come into the year's end, as we come into Christmas, as we start to think about the new year, the new me, like goals and goal setting and all of that sort of stuff. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that and how I approach it. There's no right or wrong way to do this. There's no right or wrong way to say I'm supposed to feel a certain way. I mean, I kind of hate the word supposed to. Kind of creates a false expectation of, what's supposed to happen. And supposed to is going to be different for everybody. Remember, everybody out there is on different chapters. I'm in a different chapter than you if you're just getting started, or if you're beyond where I'm at, or whatever, we're all in different places. So it's a matter of accepting where you are and knowing, that you're going to be getting there, maybe a different path, maybe the same path, maybe a similar path, but just, everyone's kind of in a different spot. So this is what I do As we approach the end of the year, I've been starting to do it a little bit now. I like to sort of reflect. So, my reflection, instead of looking forward, I actually kind of like to look back. So, what I like to do is write down all of the things that worked really well for the past year. So, for 2025, what are the things that really kicked ass? And I'll just share stuff live with you now. Like, one of the things that's really worked well is we've really dialed in our operations. We've really dialed in our efficiencies. We've really focused on growth and efficient manufacturing and efficient making while maintaining the integrity of who we are as a business, which is, no assembly line and handcrafted and bespoke. So that's one thing I'm really proud of that we accomplished. And that's one thing that's really worked well. Another thing that's really worked well for us this year is we've done a really great job of like hiring and bringing some really top talent into the company, which has been great. So I like to, like I just said, those are just two of the things, but I really like to look back and be like, okay, what are the things that worked? What are the things that have not worked? Other things that have worked are we've raised our prices and we've been able to sell less projects for more money, which has been fantastic. We've been doubling down on the luxury strategy of things and figuring out how to tap into that market. We've done an amazing job. I brought in a designer this year, so we've done an amazing job with getting designs out. We've done an amazing job with refocusing the brand. If you've noticed, if you go to our Philadelphia Table Company's social media page, you'll see how the social media has actually developed. Recently, we've been spending a lot more time taking photos, making sure we're capturing a lot of the pieces that we've done in just like more of a high style version, which has been awesome. Our designer's been bringing in incredible new designs. And all of that stuff is great. We've been able to lean out. We've started to develop some chairs. We have some chairs for sale, all of that stuff. So those are the things that have worked and things I want to continue to do, things I want to double down on. The next thing I'd like to do is reflect on the things that haven't worked or the things that we need to be better at or the things that need growth. So for me right now, specifically, one of the problems we're working on, which I think is a struggle for a lot of custom furniture makers, is like the delivery part of it. And we've been trying to solve this problem for a long time now. Like, how do we go about the deliveries? Our deliveries are great. We have an amazing delivery team, but those guys are also makers within the shop. So with each delivery, when they're out twice a week, we work a 4-day work week, so that removes them from the shop 2 times a week, which is bad for efficiency and productivity and trying to get things done and out the door. So that's something we definitely need to work on, something I want to work on and focus and grow. The other thing I would like to work on is further developing a chair line for us to continue to have other things that we sell. That's the other thing too, is like I want to start focusing on some more business development stuff. Figure out the things that we can sell, figure out the things that we sell profitably and double down on those a little bit more. Because that's been a little bit of a pain point. One thing that we had worked out, which was a pain point that I wrote down in 2024, was cash flow. And subsequently in 2025, we were actually able to work on it, which has been amazing. I wish I should have thought of this before I started recording, but I did write all this stuff down in a journal at the end of the year, and I'm going to do the same thing this year. And it was really great to go back and be like, hey, look at all the things that we accomplished and the things we crossed off. And all of those things I share with my team as well and with my operations. And for us, we were able to sort of knock off all of these items, which has been absolutely amazing. But the other thing is really come to terms with what are the things that are not working? What are the things that need improvement? How do you want to grow? And if you're just starting a business and you haven't done anything yet, maybe it's a matter of saying, okay, this past year, what wasn't working was I was working a job that I absolutely hated or wasn't making the kind of money that I needed. And maybe for 2026, your goal is to start that business, start that idea. I'm here to hopefully inspire you to do that, for you to really take the plunge into starting that thing, starting that side hustle, doubling down, rent that space, hire that person, do all of the things that you need to do to get this thing going. And when you start looking towards the new year and you start I don't know. Like I said, I don't like to set goals. I kind of like to I like to look at it a little bit more as like problem solution kind of thing. So instead of being like, my goal is to hit X amount of revenue this year, I like to just say, hey, these are the problems. We need to work through them. How are we going to get there? Because if you sort of phrase it as, if your goal isn't like, if your goal, I don't know, just as a random thing, I want to have a six pack in 2026. Okay, cool. That's a great goal. But like, what are the steps to get there? And it's likely because you've had problems in 2025 that didn't allow you to get there. Maybe you eat McDonald's every lunch or something. I don't know. I don't have a six pack, so I have no clue. But, maybe there are things in 2025 that are affecting the outcome. So I think it's really coming in and figuring out, how do we do more? Another thing for me is I've been actively looking at hiring a salesperson. A salesperson could be super helpful for us as a company, because I think I myself am the bottleneck here. And instead of saying like, hey, I want to hit X in sales next year, I'm saying, okay, the problem is I am a bottleneck in sales. Once I solve that problem, it's going to open up our capacity to become more, have more sales, be able to bring more work in the door. And then what I forecast happening probably in 2026 is, how do we make those things, right? We're selling more, but we're not making more. So trying to solve those. And to me, that's the exciting part of being a business owner. That's the exciting part of having any sort of business. I mean, you guys are all listening to this podcast because you're makers. And I think one of my profile things says I'm a maker of things. And a maker of things to me isn't like maker of tables or maker of furniture. It's like maker of businesses, maker of ideas, like maker of better situations. So I think approaching any problem you have or any goal you have as a problem solution is great. To me, that's the most exciting part about this. And as makers, we're constantly solving these problems. Furniture makers all the time are trying to figure out how to make things, how to engineer certain things, how to do this design, how to break through this wall, how to sell more things, how to get this finish, right? So I think coming at it from a problem solution basis is a lot better than looking at it as goals and objectives. But when you do set goals, I think goals are helpful to say, but I think it's a matter of setting achievable goals and achieving them, finding the things to hit. If you want to hit $100,000, okay, and you're at zero, how do you get $10,000? How do you get $5,000? How do you go from zero to $100,000 in a year? Break that down by week, by day, figuring out what each individual item is you're selling to be able to hit that number, to be able to hit that profit number. What are the steps that you're taking? And in the group, I actually touched on this a little bit on the last call, as I talked about my revenue strategy that I share with everybody. I have a little worksheet in there that I do every year. And it's a very real thing that I do, where I write down, what is my quarterly revenue goals? What are my yearly revenue goals? How am I going to get there? And it's not just like, this is what my goal is, but it's really breaking it down. I need to sell X per week to do Y, to get where I need to be. So I think taking this time to be more reflective, as opposed to, I don't know, maybe reflective and reactionary as opposed to like visionary, I think is maybe a little helpful. The other thing I want to remind you of too, is it's like some of us, especially in the Northeast, I know it's freezing cold here in Philadelphia right now. It's, our bodies naturally don't want, this isn't a great time of year to be setting goals and to be motivated. It's a time, there's less light out. We want to sleep more. We want to eat more. We want to do all of those sort of things. So not beating yourself up over the goals. And I think by doing the problem solution is a really great way to figure out a way to hit goals without really saying, oh, well, I should be this, I should be that. So that's my recommendation for you guys as you go into this season. I really hope you guys have a great Christmas, a great holiday, some really good time off. I'll probably do just a really quick, short episode going into the new year. But otherwise, it's been really great having all of you guys as listeners. It's been really great connecting with all of you guys in the community and through emails. And yeah, I'm super thankful. It's been a really, really fun ride so far. So thank you for staying on board and being involved. So again, if you have any questions or you want to get in touch, it's just paul@thehandcraftednetwork.com. If you're interested in joining the community, it's thehandcraftednetwork.com. There's a little button down there. You can schedule a call with me too if you're still kind of unsure if you want to join. And just a quick reminder, please subscribe, like, share, all of this stuff. That's the only way that's what kind of keeps me motivated to keep doing it. I love seeing the numbers going up. I love seeing you guys sharing it, talking about it, listening to it, maybe even multiple times. So it's been super, super rad. All right, guys. Peace.